Hello StarCraft fans, Horst here again, bringing you another game. This is actually a PvZ. I know I do a lot of PvZs, but it's my favorite matchup. There's a lot of crazy strategies you can do that work. This is a PvZ against a guy named No Excuses OK. This is the build that has defeated Hydra before. I don't know if I'm doing it exactly the same way as the guy who did it. I think it was Nazgul did it. But it does work a lot for me. It is a blink rush. You start off like every other PvZ I've cast. It looks very similar. You put your pylon out here. Speed this up a little bit. You go scout. And you will put a gateway here, a cyber core here at the normal timings of 12. And you're going to get a gas. When you see the Zerg is doing nothing too risky, he's getting a pool first. Normal. 15 pylon. 16 core, a little faster than normal, but nothing unusual. And right after the core goes down, you get your second gas. Of course, you make a zealot quickly as well so you can block the choke. But right after you get that second gas, you want to start mining it as soon as possible because you need a lot of gas for your blink stalker rush. Now, once the zealot is out, you want to get a stalker next because you're going to need them for blinking, and you're going to need them to defend from overlords coming in. You do not want the overlord to scout this. So I put my Twilight Council here. I put my Stalker here. The hope is that if he has an Overlord coming, it'll come this from this direction, and my Stalker will be able to intercept it and keep it away from here. You can see he's moving in from here. Hopefully I'll have enough time to get away with it. But keep making a couple more Stalkers. Research Blink as soon as you can. Once you have the Council going down, you throw down 2 more gateways. Of course, you have Warp Gate research coming in as soon as you possibly can. And you throw down a 4th gateway as well. You don't have to throw down 4 gateways. You can do it with 3 and it's probably just as efficient. But if the macro slips a little bit and you miss a couple of seconds of the cooldown, you want to be able to burn those extra resources. So I figure a 4th gate isn't completely out of line. You want to have about 16 probes on minerals and about 6 on the gas. So you're going to want total of 22 probes total, but I think I have that right now. Yeah, that's where you want to stop, because at 16 on the minerals and 6 on the gas, you're at maximum efficiency. But once Blink finishes, Warp Gate should finish, you warp in a round of Stalkers, then you push out. His Overlord is getting close. He hasn't spotted it yet. He doesn't know what I'm doing yet, so he hasn't done anything overwhelmingly weird. And I move out around 7 minutes with my Stalker force. Now at this point he knows what's up. I think he finally sees it. If we look at his perspective, yeah, he sees the the Council, so he knows what's coming. Unfortunately, there's not much he can do to prevent it. He has speedlings, he has a couple of crawlers. I think he has 1 crawler, and he's getting more speedlings. I think he's getting roaches. Check production. Yeah. The positioning here is actually very important. This works best on maps like this because this is a very micro-intensive strategy. You want your pylon to be on the low ground so you can warp onto the high ground. You can only use this really on maps that have a low ground like this near their expansion. The reason for that is you blink the Stalkers as they're being damaged one by one onto the low ground so they can regenerate their shields. If you can't blink onto the low ground, the strategy is much less effective. It doesn't work nearly as well. But once they retreat, you poke back out, take some more shots, shoot some more, back up to the ledge, and blink the damaged ones down. Just keep on blinking the damaged Stalkers down. You do need a fairly high APM to do this. You need to have some decent micro. It's not overly hard. Make sure you have the health bars always displayed so you can see which ones are being damaged. My Stalkers have taken quite a bit of damage at this point, so they're all a little weak. Wait a couple of seconds to start regenerating shields and you can go back in. Look at the units lost tab. You can see I have lost nothing yet. Well, he has lost a significant amount. My Stalkers are still being damaged, but the vast majority of the Stalkers have a lot of shields as well. And with 80 shield and 80 life, you can regenerate those shields quickly. Make Stalkers very replenishable in life. And here, my control isn't the greatest. I lose a couple. But again, the Zerg is still losing more than I am. Those roaches are becoming much more softened up. Roaches regenerate a lot slower than shields do. So he can't take these constant exchanges. Remember, you gotta keep warping in reinforcements as well. I'm keeping my money pretty low thanks to those 4 warp gates I have. I can't afford to miss a cycle or two, so... And there come more stalkers. Excellent. You can see the Zerg, if you look at the income, he's still ahead of me by a little bit in income, but he has to spend all of his larvae on producing Zerglings and Roaches, which is going to keep him from doing anything really effective. He can't really tech, he can't do anything other than defend me. So as long as I get momentum and keep building my Stalker force, I'm going to eventually build up critical mass and win. Just want to keep defending from his pushes. Now once the hatchery goes down on the low ground, it's pretty much game over. There's not really much else he can do at this point, because he has nowhere near enough larva production off of 1 hatch. He added a 2nd hatch, but he's not going to have enough resources to support 2 hatches producing off 1 base. Unless it's constant Zerglings, and those are easy to kill with Stalkers. And keep blinking back. Don't ever stop blinking because you think you've won, because when you do that, you lose all your Stalkers, then you lose the game. I mean, if this Stalker army goes down, you're done, because you only have 1 base with minimal workers on it. But right here, you can see there's nothing you can do. The food differential itself is like 20 at this point by itself. And he does stay in the game for a little bit longer, but I think he's just being stubborn at this point. Don't know why he would choose to stay. But this strategy does beat very good players as well. I know Hydra lost to it. He's the most famous example of a player who's lost this I can think of. But I'm sure there have been many others, including this Zerg right here. It's not overly hard to execute, and on some maps like this, it is extremely powerful. I hope you guys found this informative, and I hope to see you guys using this more on the ladder. Good luck, guys.